Most guys waste months lifting weights chasing an anime physique they could have built at home in half the time. You already know you want that Toji Garo or Sungjin Woo look, but the method you're using is the exact reason you're not there yet. So in this video, I'm going to show you the fastest no weights training method for an anime level physique, how to get there even faster by using natural steroids, and show you the simple diet method that helped my students Rin, Daryl, and Alex lose over 80 pounds in 4 months combined. Starting with the most important section, which of course is building the muscle. And one of the ways someone can completely screw this up before they even begin is kind of like this. Remember in season 1 of JJK when Itadori was first learning to use his cursed energy? Now he had tons of negative emotions to draw from. I mean, his grandpa died, his friends died, even he died. Bro is not living his best life. While he had a lot of energy, he wasn't as powerful as he could be because he wasn't channeling it properly. But after changing his technique and learning to channel that energy into more structured techniques like Black Flash, was he able to realize his full power. Season 1 Itadori is exactly how most of you guys are approaching your training. They go in, high energy, testosterone, lift a bunch of weights, smell like teen spirit, and at the end of all that macho business, they still look like melted ice cream. And it may seem like they're doing a bunch of hard work, but in reality, they're just training randomly. And if you're just doing random dumb exercises at random dumb times with random dumb people, looking at you, David, you are going to get random results. And this is also the reason why most guys never build muscle with bodyweight training. So we need to have a proper structure if we actually want to make real gains. But what does that structure actually look like? And how could we possibly use it to get to the anime physique of our dreams? Well, the ideal training structure is actually so much simpler than most guys make it out to be because it only needs to focus on one thing, and that is training each muscle with as much volume as you can. The best way to do this is to actually split your workout into 3 separate muscle groups. Let's lay out what you're going to do throughout the week. On 2 days of the week, you want to be training your back, biceps, and rear delts. Those muscles go together because they share a very similar movement pattern, which is pulling. On 2 different days, you want to work the chest, triceps, and the shoulders. Again, very similar movement pattern, which is pushing. Then on 1 day out of the 7, you're going to work your quads, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. Now, to make sure all of this actually works, you'll want to do 4 exercises on each of those days. And each of those exercises you want to do for 3 sets each. The first 3 exercises of each day need to be compound movements, exercises that work multiple muscle groups. That way you can work each muscle with sufficient enough volume throughout the entire week without spending any more time than you need to. For example, on our 2 pulling days, since we have 3 exercises of compound movements, 3 sets each, that is around 18 sets, which is plenty for the muscle. Doing exercises like pull-up variations, push-up variations, squat variations, anything that uses more than one joint at a time is going to be perfect choice for this structure. Now, the final and 4th exercise on each day, you'll want to make that an isolation exercise to focus on muscles that maybe are lagging behind, whether that's your biceps, your side delts, maybe it's just your chest, maybe it's just your quads. But Kevin, why don't we just do more sets to get more gains? Well, here's the thing. If we add more and more sets to this existing structure, eventually our body is going to get more tired than it is going to build muscle. And that's going to result in no muscle and you lying on the floor, crying, wondering, oh my God, why do I look so ugly? I promise I'm not speaking from experience. So you just need to make sure that the number of sets you do does not go over 20. Now, for an example, take a look at Jonathan's transformation here. The reason he was able to go from this to this in just 3 months was because the program that I made for him was designed and structured to work with the principles we just talked about and at the same time be tailored to his body, his goals, and his life. This meant jumping on a call every week to adjust things once in a while and showing him how to progress and not plateau. The problem that most of you guys are going to run into is that you're going to follow this structure, but you'll just have no idea how to tailor it to yourself in a way that's optimized for your situation. Thus, you're never going to see results. Now, don't despair, because I'm once again opening the doors to the Protagonist Academy to help students just like Jonathan, get to the transformation of their dreams. So if you want a custom workout structure, guidance from me to build your anime physique as fast as possible, click the link in the description to apply. Now, once you have the right structure, you can't just leave it at that. That's not enough. We got more work to do. Because even if you do follow it perfectly, you're never going to get the physique you want if you start training like a whip. So we need to be incorporating some protagonist level training techniques that are going to make sure you have gains, whether you like it or not. Every protagonist that you've ever seen on screen, they're always being pushed past their limits or even way beyond their limits, and they're constantly being challenged. If we want to build our physique as fast as possible, we need to do the same. And there are 3 simple techniques for you to do so. The first technique you'll want to do for at least 2 of the exercises during your workout. Take whatever max reps of any exercise and go ahead and add 2 to 5 on top of it. Now what you're going to do is promise yourself that you're going to hit those reps every single set, every single time. This is called the rep promise, and it ensures that no matter what, you are going to hit muscular failure and beyond to make sure those muscles are screaming to grow. The second technique I like to do for my second last exercise of each workout. Once you finish a set of an exercise, let's say it's dips, immediately drop to an easier variation of that exercise. And in this example, it would be something like push-ups. Then after that, go to an even easier progression, maybe incline push-ups. This is the bodyweight drop set. It squeezes every last ounce of juice from your muscles, so each muscle fiber is being targeted and exhausted. Now, this third technique, you'll want to do it with every single exercise. I am not kidding. This one is very important. In fact, just forget the previous 2. If you don't do this, you're never going to get an anime physique. Let's say you're doing pull-ups and you get to about 6 reps. After a couple of weeks, ask yourself this question: how can I make myself suffer more today? And then you answer that question. Maybe that looks like adding 2 more repetitions. Maybe it looks like adding a slow negative on each rep, or maybe it's adding pauses in the middle. The point is, as you start exercising and making gains, your workout needs to keep up with you. You can't just do the same thing every day, or else you're going to look the same every day, which is why every couple of weeks you want to make things harder than last time. This is called progressive overload, and it's the cornerstone of getting that anime physique as fast as possible. Without it, you're doing useless. You're useless. You're useless. Well, all 3 of these techniques work tremendously. If you actually want to 10x your gains and make sure you're going as fast as possible, you need to make sure that you fix your biology. Going back to our example of Itadori, he had a lot of cursed energy. But there are guys in JJK who have way more cursed energy. Like, way freaking more. Like, God, an uber amount of sadness and misery coursing through the veins. No matter how cool your technique is, if your cursed energy is just like low, I'm sorry, but you are going to get cooked. Of course, with some exceptions. Now, what does that wishy-washy fictional power system actually mean for us? Well, we men have a similar energy, so to speak, that powers how strong we get and how we gain muscle. If that energy system is optimized, then we win. But if it's not optimized and it's suffering, we lose. And that energy system is not actually energy, it's testosterone. Now, the fastest way to increase testosterone is just to do some steroids and peptides. So grab yourself a needle of that good stuff and stick it right in your... Be gone! All right. Now that Skinwalker's gone, you do not need to do any of that. There are much better ways to naturally increasing your testosterone without injecting yourself with anything. First, one of the best ways to increase testosterone is to increase what is called a luteinizing hormone. And that's just a fancy word for the thing that comes before testosterone. It's like, if it exists, testosterone's probably coming. That's all you need to know. Now, the best way to increase luteinizing hormone is to take a big spoonful of raw honey right before bed. So go get some local raw honey and lick it. Yeah, lick it good. The second way is to utilize the power of the sun. How cool do I look right now? Your body can't produce testosterone if it doesn't get enough vitamin D. And the best way to get vitamin D is to go out and let the sun hit your skin and produce it naturally. But if you're in areas that doesn't get a lot of sun, or you just don't go outside too much, which I know is most of you bastards, consider getting a simple vitamin D supplement. Now, the third one is to just chill the hell out. I look cool now, huh? The number one enemy of testosterone, not estrogen, it is cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone that pops up when you realize you just said you too to the waiter who said, enjoy your meal. To keep cortisol low, just get enough sleep, start meditating throughout the day to calm yourself, calm your nerves, and take time to reflect and really relax. Not stress, don't overthink, just vibe, man. Just vibe. Soon, your testosterone is gonna be so huge, Yujiro gonna be jealous. But even if your workouts and testosterone are on point, if you've got a gut out to here and fat covering your definition, or maybe you just don't eat enough, your physique never gonna show. Now, of course, everybody knows, oh my god, you gotta watch your diet. Hell, I even give custom diet programs to everybody in the Protagonist Academy. But there is one diet method that works with almost anybody, no matter if you're trying to lose fat or build muscle. Imagine your daily calories that you need to eat are a meter that you fill up by the end of the day. Most people, they're gonna start their day with a little bit of protein, a good chunk of carbs and fats. Maybe that looks like some eggs, a breakfast sandwich, some cereal. Okay, sure, fine so far. Then lunch hits, and then they do the exact same thing. Protein, carbs, fats. Maybe that's like pasta with a little bit of meat in it, and another sandwich, I guess. But as you can see, you start to see a problem. Now the meter's already like 70% full, but the protein is nowhere near where it needs to be. And now by dinner, you do the same thing. You eat another freaking sandwich, and then you've hit your calorie limit. But the protein, not even close to the goal. And they can't eat any more because calories are maxed out. So they either go to sleep under protein, or they have to eat over their calories to meet their protein. And then they're wondering why they're not building muscle and losing fat. Now, imagine flipping that whole thing. What if instead you wanted to fill the meter with protein first? Hit your protein target, then fill whatever is left with carbs and fats. I mean, whether that's fruit, cake, pizza, pasta, your newborn son, someone else's newborn son, the blood of your enemy. I'm not endorsing these things, but I'm also not going to judge. Your protein is always going to be guaranteed no matter what, especially if you do eat somebody's newborn son. This hack is called macro fasting. You prioritize hitting your protein at the start of the day before anything else. Then you spend the rest of your calories however you want. Honestly, this is one of the most simple, most effective diet hacks for getting that anime physique super fast, because your pesky diet is never going to get in the way. Now, here's the interesting part. If I just told you to follow these steps perfectly, you would probably get decent results. But what separates someone who gets decent results from someone who gets amazing fast results is that this guy right over here knows exactly what his anime physique type is. So check out this video right here if you want to learn how to find out what yours is and how to train for it.